governor's made it pretty clear that he's going to try and include the severance tax as part of his budget, I guess as part of an overall tax proposal, all aimed at reducing the income tax. What are you expecting at this point out of the governor's budget as it relates to this severance tax?
I really don't have a clue about how they're going to approach it. There's been concepts floated, different concepts that popped up in the biennium budget bill last year, the midterm budget bill. One of them is a tax on BTU. Another is just the same kinds of concepts that was in 487. But what happens is I have not been told.
I take it your position hasn't changed on additional taxes on the industry. The governor's idea is, we need to have everybody benefit from this. So if we have an increase on the drillers, we could see a corresponding cut in income tax for everybody.
Look, we agree with the governor that everybody ought to benefit from the economic activity, and this is the best opportunity Ohio's had in nearly 25 years. What you saw today is the evidence of true, authentic, huge job growth and economic activity. If you go over to Carroll County or Harrison County, you'll see sales tax receipts up 23%, 13% on average across eastern Ohio. What that tells you is that the sales base, the tax base is growing and growing exponentially where this activity takes place. Now, you can go to places like New York State, where today spot natural gas prices are trading in the $22 range, and here in the state of Ohio they're at $4. Everybody in the state of Ohio is going to hugely benefit from the growth of natural gas production being produced right here in the state of Ohio, even as we expand a huge asset called proven reserve base. Not a person heating their home, not a person going to a commercial concern, not a person going to a factory, not a person who relies on feedstocks from energy will escape the huge benefits that are going to come if this industry is allowed to grow like we hope it grows. So, we believe the tax base will grow no matter what. We believe that Ohio citizens will enjoy long-term, decades to come, affordable and reliable energy. We believe that the job growth will fundamentally impact in a positive way the state of Ohio. We're all about trying to do positive economic development in this state. I think the governor shares that viewpoint, and we just need to let it happen.
Why haven't you been able to persuade the governor on this point? I mean, he's been insistent for months now that, one, this is a tax, increasing severance tax or other accommodation won't affect development of the industry, and, again, we need more benefit in total for Ohio. How come you haven't been able to convince the governor otherwise?
They have not enlightened me about why they have not accepted my point of view.
Are you dead set against any increase in the severance tax, or is there room for compromise on this?
Look, if you want to see this play develop, what you want these producers to do, and what all these support industries that you see here today want these producers to do, is to take their net revenues and plow it back into the ground. Just the same way that a farmer takes his net revenues and replants his field, you want these producers to take the money they make, plus more, and put it back in the ground to make this economic opportunity expand. So, if that is our viewpoint on what the benefit is for the state of Ohio, and that's why we remain opposed to putting special taxation on one industry.
So you would oppose any increase in the severance tax?
We're opposed to an increase in severance tax. Yes, sir.
What about some other accommodation, like you said, a BTU tax or...
Well, that's another way of saying severance tax. BTU tax is really an interesting concept. The better the product that you produce, otherwise the more BTU, the more energy value, the better that you do, the more that you get taxed. It kind of jars your head when you stop and think about it. Last time I heard of a BTU tax, it was Bill Clinton in 1994.
Even though legislators didn't go with the governor's tax hike proposal the last 2 years, at the end of last year, Niehaus and Batchelder both said, well, we think they're going to pass it in some form in the next year or so. What do you make of that?
I make that politics is the art of the possible, really. And I'm not predicting where this will end up. My industry and my association, which represents nearly 100% of the production here in the state of Ohio, we are opposed to taxation that will siphon away investment capital going back into the ground. And I think that anybody, particularly somebody in leadership, is wise to always leave open possibilities because they're leaders, and those leaders need to give flexibility to their members to consider the public policy issues. I personally believe that my viewpoint on public policy as it relates to taxation on the oil and gas industry will prevail. I hope so.
Are you losing ground though in this debate in terms of counting the votes?
I don't believe so.
We've got at least a few Democrats actually hinting that they're on the side of this.
Well, there's a lot of members from the Democrat Party present here today, who in particular represent districts in eastern Ohio that have been economically blighted for decades. They're looking at their opportunity and saying, I want this to happen for my constituents. God bless them.